Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, I wanted you and I to get together to talk about this topic. Now, we discussed this topic probably about 4 or 5 days ago, and we never had the opportunity to record this video. And now we're going to record it and talk a little bit about it. Now, we know that Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua is official for March time frame. And we also know that Ben Davidson will be the trainer for Anthony Joshua. Now, when Anthony Joshua announced that he was going to be fighting Otto Wallen, we know that there were rumors running rampant that he was no longer going to be with Derrick James. He was no longer going to be with Derrick James. And of course, Derrick James came out. We actually played the interview at one point where Derrick James essentially said that, people are going to start these rumors. None of them are true. None of us know the inner workings of their training camps and their teams at all. And that's all certainly true, Jay. We do not know the inner workings of the Spence camp, his training camps, the trainer relationships with his fighters. We don't know the inner workings of any of those things. I totally agree with that. Here's what I do know, though, Jay. I do understand and know logic. Logically speaking, we've seen AJ move from one trainer to another. Now, he was with Robert Garcia. I thought he looked better with Robert Garcia against Usyk, but apparently that wasn't good enough. And he decided that he needed to train out of the States, and he looked for another trainer, and that trainer was Derrick James. Now, he's had the opportunity to train with Derrick James just one time with one fight. Two times. With just one fight. Or two fights.
Two fights. The Jermaine Franklin Jr. and the Robert Helenius fight.
Got it. So he's had the opportunity to train with him twice and fight with him twice. My thought is you need to get the opportunity and as much time as you can with that particular trainer for him to impart his wisdom and knowledge on your boxing style and your abilities to help, hone your skills to put you in a position to be the best version of yourself possible. That's the reason why you got with that trainer. Now, when I heard that for the Otto Wallen fight that he was no longer going to use the services of Derrick James, I thought that was suspicious. It was suspect. And I heard people say, oh, no, it's not that. He's just going to come back. It's just logistics. It doesn't really work. But if I'm a fighter and I know that this is the particular trainer that I need, the trainer is extremely important. That bond between a trainer and a fighter is extremely important. So for me personally, regardless, specifically, if I'm a fighter that's looking for the correct bond that I need in order for myself to be at my best, this isn't like a Terrence Crawford and a Bomac, right? Terrence Crawford can possibly get away with, not having a fight with Bomac or a Floyd Mayweather. They can get away with it because they figured out their style. They're efficient at their style. They understand who and what they are. That's not Anthony Joshua. So he can't get away with not being with his trainer, specifically when he's only had 2 opportunities to train and fight with his trainer. So I never thought that made a whole lot of sense. And now that we know that Ben Davidson will be there in the training camp and be the head trainer for the fight against Ngannou, that would suggest to me that it's over for DJ and AJ. That relationship is done. That's exactly what I stated when I heard initially that he was not going to be in the Otto Wallen fight. It didn't make any sense to me, and it still doesn't. So I'm of the mindset that it's over for DJ and AJ, and I have never seen. I don't want to say a trainer fall from grace because I think that's a bit strong, but DJ was one of the hottest trainers around less than a year ago, dude. Like right before the Frank Martin fight, we were singing the praises, and a lot of people were singing the praises of Derrick James. Now, of course, Terrence Crawford fans were not, but a lot of people were singing the praises of Derrick James. And then we saw the Frank Martin performance. Subsequent to that, we saw the Errol Spence performance. We saw what happened to Mel, and now all of a sudden, Derrick James does not seem to be what most thought he was. And I'm not saying that that's what it is, but that seems to be the case currently. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for a while, we both thought about it. It was like, well, one fight, but he went to Derrick James for a reason. He gave Derrick James all these praise, and it's all about, having a trainer and a fighter have a bond. They got to understand each other. You can't understand yourself the trainer, or the trainer can't understand you in just one training camp, two training camps, especially at this stage in his career. It's not like he's a rookie and he's able just to soak up everything. He has tendencies. And Derrick James being a trainer, he could see tendencies that he might not like. Same thing with Robert Garcia, and same thing with Ben Davidson. They're not all from the same ilk of a type of trainer. They're different styles of trainers. So It's not going from one to the next. It's not like, to your point, like being part of Bomax guys. Bomac has like 3 or 4 trainers in his group that work with, Keyshawn Davis, Bud, and whatnot. So they understand the logic, the ideology that they train with. That's not the same here with Ben Davidson versus a Derrick James. They don't work together. Derrick James isn't working for Ben. Ben ain't working for Derrick James. They have different philosophies. So that can sometimes kind of be total opposites for AJ to understand how to do things. Derrick James may say, "Hey, you throw the punch this way, so you can look for the counter in that way." And Ben Davidson might be the exact opposite. So with that being said, this being the second fight with Ben Davidson, it seems like he might be staying with Ben Davidson because, to your point, he was only with DJ already, and now he's primarily doing stuff in the UK and things of that nature there. DJ ain't going over there. We know that, and it doesn't seem like AJ wants to really come to the States anymore. For whatever reason, that's what it looks like. They're taking a high road saying that nothing's going on as far as them, severing their ties, but it seems like the writing's on the wall, and the way he looked against Jermaine Franklin, he looked very tentative. Even against Helenius, he looked a little tentative as well. Then he got better. Otto Wallen, he looked better, but to your point, he looked a little bit better in that second fight against Usyk when he was with Robert Garcia, the way Robert Garcia was training him. But, this fight against Francis Ngannou, this is another test for him to really work out some things with Ben Davidson, because Francis Ngannou, as we know, he only has one boxing match. That was a good showing against Tyson Fury, but that doesn't mean that Ben Davidson is going to have an easy fight with him because Ngannou has power. So, I think the writing's on the wall. I think DJ and AJ probably are pretty much done. And to your point, last year is like the curse of the trainer of the year. DJ got it. Almost every fighter he worked with took a loss or struggled. And it was the same similarity as far as him not listening to his instructions as well. So that could be part of it. This could be a mutual split between DJ and AJ. Hell, if they come back for a third fight, a third fight with AJ and DJ, that'd be interesting, because now you're going to undo what you just learned with Ben Davidson in a sense, because they don't have the same philosophy. So I think the writing's on the wall. I think DJ, AJ, trainer, boxer is pretty much done after this.
I think it's over. Not after this. I think it's already over. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to DJ, AJ, that relationship. Is it a relationship that is over, or a relationship that has just been severed for temporary purposes, and AJ will be back with him maybe in the next couple of months? You never know with AJ, because it seems like he's a lost soul right now, looking for someone to correct some of the challenges that he's having currently in the ring. But no one can correct that other than himself inside. He got to stick with one person and move down that path in order to be successful. So you guys tell us what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.